Everyone says you need $1 million to retire, but I found seniors who retired comfortably with less than $200,000. Today, I'm breaking down their exact 5-step strategy. Look, the retirement industry has done an amazing job of scaring the hell out of people. Walk into any financial advisor's office and they'll tell you that you need at least $1 million, maybe more, to retire comfortably. But here's what they're not telling you. Nearly 40% of retirees who consider themselves comfortable have less than $200,000 in savings. I've spent months researching how these people pulled it off. And today, I'm going to break down the 5 concrete steps they all follow. These aren't theoretical strategies. These are real tactics used by real people living real comfortable retirements right now. So let's dive in. Step 1. Eliminate your housing costs. Here's the brutal truth. Housing typically eats up 30 to 40% of your retirement budget. It's your biggest expense by far. So the smartest retirees attack this first, and they do it in one of 3 ways. Path A is paying off your mortgage before you retire. Tom had $180,000 saved up when he was 60. Instead of retiring with that full amount, he took $60,000 and paid off his mortgage completely. Yes, he retired with only $120,000 in savings, but here's the key. He had 0 monthly mortgage payment. That alone saved him $1,400 every single month. When you don't have a mortgage hanging over your head, $120,000 suddenly looks a lot bigger. Path B is downsizing. Maria sold her $320,000 family home and bought a $140,000 condo. After closing costs, she walked away with about $180,000 in cash. But here's the beautiful part. Her property taxes dropped from $4,200 a year to $1,100. Her utilities went from $250 a month to $90. Her maintenance costs, nearly zero because the HOA handles everything. She freed up an extra $500 a month just by downsizing. Path C is geographic relocation. And this is where things get really interesting. A couple sold their $400,000 home in California and bought a beautiful $150,000 house in Tennessee. They pocketed $250,000, invested it, and now that money generates income for them. Plus their cost of living dropped dramatically. This first step is non-negotiable. If you're trying to retire on under $200,000 and you still have a mortgage or high housing costs, you're making things unnecessarily difficult. Step 2. Geographic arbitrage. Your location determines everything. And I mean everything. Let me give you a real example. $1,800 a month in New York City means you're sharing a tiny apartment, eating ramen, and taking the subway everywhere. That same $1,800 in Nashville. You're living in a nice place, driving your own car, eating out regularly, and still saving money. The best states for low-cost retirement. Mississippi has the lowest overall cost of living in the country. Arkansas doesn't tax Social Security benefits. Tennessee has no state income tax at all. These aren't just tax havens. They're places where your dollar stretches 2 or 3 times further. Think about it this way. If you have $150,000 saved and you're pulling out 4% a year, that's $6,000. In San Francisco, that's laughable. In Tennessee, that combined with Social Security could actually work. The retirement rich understand this. They know that retiring in an expensive area is like running a marathon in ankle weights. You might finish, but why make it harder than it needs to be? Step 3. Build multiple income streams. Here's where people get retirement completely wrong. They think retirement income means one Social Security check and whatever they can pull from their savings. The comfortable retirees with small nest eggs think completely differently. They stack income streams like building blocks. Stream 1. Maximize your Social Security. If your full retirement age benefit is $1,800 a month but you delay until 70, you get 24% more. That's about $2,230 instead. That extra $430 every single month for the rest of your life. Stream 2. Part-time work between ages 62 and 70. This is crucial. A lot of retirees work 15 to 20 hours a week doing something they actually enjoy. That generates $800 to $1,200 a month. It keeps them active, social, and most importantly, it delays drawing down their savings. Stream 3. A small pension. Even if it's just $300 or $400 a month, it adds up. Stream 4. Rental income. Some people rent out a spare bedroom for $500 a month. Others have a small rental property. This is passive income that keeps flowing. Stream 5. Dividend income. If you have $100,000 invested in dividend-paying stocks or funds yielding 4%, that's $4,000 a year, or about $330 a month. Now, let's add it all up. Social Security at $1,800, part-time work at $1,000, small pension at $300, rental at $500, dividends at $330. You're looking at $3,930 a month. And here's the kicker. You haven't even touched your principal yet. This is how smart retirees turn $150,000 in savings into a comfortable lifestyle. They don't rely on one source. They build a foundation with multiple pillars. Step 4. Master the healthcare gap. This is where a lot of early retirement dreams die. You can claim Social Security at 62, but you can't get Medicare until 65. Those 3 years are absolutely critical. And health insurance during that gap can cost anywhere from $800 to $1,500 a month if you're not careful. Solution 1. Stay on your spouse's insurance if they're still working. This is the easiest path if it's available. Solution 2. ACA Marketplace with subsidies. Here's the secret. If you keep your reported income below certain thresholds, you can qualify for substantial subsidies. Some retirees pay less than $200 a month for solid coverage because they're strategic about when they take distributions and how they report income. Solution 3. Get a part-time job that offers health benefits. Companies like Starbucks and Costco offer health insurance to part-time employees working 20 hours a week. Some people take these jobs specifically for the insurance and earn a paycheck at the same time. Managing this gap correctly can save you $20,000 to $40,000 over those 3 years. That's money that stays in your nest egg, continuing to grow. Step 5. Use the 3% withdrawal rule. You've probably heard of the 4% rule. Withdraw 4% of your portfolio annually, and it should last 30 years. But here's the thing. When you have a smaller portfolio, you need to be more conservative. The 3% rule is safer, especially in today's market conditions. If you have $200,000 saved, 3% equals $6,000 a year, or $500 a month. That's your baseline safe withdrawal. Now, let's look at a realistic budget for someone between ages 62 and 67. Social Security at $1,800, plus part-time work bringing in $600, plus your $500 withdrawal. That's $2,900 a month. At age 67, when you stop the part-time work, but your Social Security has increased and you've added other income streams, you might be looking at Social Security $1,800, withdrawal $500, and rental income $500. That's $2,800 a month, and your savings are still largely intact. The 3% rule isn't sexy, but it's safe. And when you're dealing with a smaller portfolio, safety matters more than aggressive growth. A real example. Meet Carol and Jim. Let me tell you about a couple who made this work. Carol and Jim are both 64, with $195,000 saved. First thing they did, took $55,000 and paid off their mortgage completely. That left them with $140,000, but now they had no house payment. They moved to Missouri, a low-cost area. Jim picked up part-time work at a hardware store making $700 a month because he actually enjoys it. Carol babysits for their grandkids and 2 other families, bringing in $300 a month. They both have small pensions totaling $400. Here's where it gets good. At 67, they'll both claim Social Security for a combined $3,200, add their pensions at $400, and a 3% withdrawal from their remaining $140,000, giving them about $350 a month. Total monthly income, $3,950. Their expenses in Missouri: mortgage, $0. Utilities, $150. Food, $500. Insurance and healthcare, $350. Property tax, $90. Car and gas, $280. Entertainment and miscellaneous, $810. Total monthly expenses, those $1,180. That leaves them with a surplus of $1,770 every single month. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. They take trips, they help their kids, they live comfortably, and they did it with less than $200,000. Your action steps. If you're 10+ years out from retirement, start paying down that mortgage aggressively and research low-cost states. Visit them, see if you could live there. If you're 5 years out, accelerate your mortgage payoff plan and start seriously planning your move. Figure out your healthcare strategy now. If you're 1 to 2 years away, finalize your housing situation, lock in your healthcare plan, and start building those income streams. Every decision you make now affects your comfort for the next 30 years. Here's the bottom line. $200,000 can absolutely work for retirement, but not with the traditional approach. You need to be strategic about housing, location, income streams, healthcare, and withdrawal rates. The seniors who retire comfortably with smaller nest eggs aren't lucky. They're smart planners who understood that how you retire matters more than how much you retire with.